want to kind of switch lanes a little bit and bring up something that's non-sports related altogether. So I was reading a story recently. I shared it with you guys earlier before the show that in the States, in Rhode Island, basically one of the major sort of grocery chains, they've revamped their stores. So what they've done is they've basically gotten rid of the cashier lanes, the traditional cashier lanes, and they've replaced them with a bunch of self checkout. And they don't have workers that are standing there monitoring the self checkouts. It's just if a customer needs help, then somebody will come. But that person is basically like somebody who stocks shelves, right? They're not somebody who is dedicated to being a cashier or to monitoring those self checkouts. So what ended up happening is now a lot of cashiers have lost their jobs, right? Because now we don't need you. We don't have these traditional cashier lanes. So the politicians in Rhode Island have now come up with a bill that they're proposing to change the law that says if you are running a grocery store in the state, you can only have a maximum of 8 self checkouts in your store. If you have those 8, you have to have one human being monitoring only up to 2 of those self checkouts. So if you have 8, that means you have 4 people working there. And you have to have a ratio of 1 traditional checkout lane to 2 self checkouts. So if you're going to have the 8 self checkouts, that means you also have to have 4 traditional checkout lanes, which will also come with another 4 cashiers working. So basically, in that scenario, you would have 8 people now. Whereas in this example in the article that I shared, there's basically nobody working. But then I started wondering, okay, when I shop, uh, unless I have a full cart, I'm typically going self checkout, right? Because self checkout is quicker. I don't have to deal with anybody. I can just do it myself, in and out. That's number one. But then the second thing I thought is, does it make sense? Like, do we want the government stepping in to try to protect cashiers by making stores have to rearrange their business? Like, does it make sense for the government to be able to say, hey, if you want to run a store in this state, you have to have this many self checkouts, you have to have this many traditional cashier checkout lanes to save jobs? Do we want that? And if so, why just cashiers? Or is that where we're starting? Are we gonna have the government putting in laws to now save a whole bunch of other jobs that could be lost to automation? Like, this is kind of where I was thinking, what I was wondering. And I'm just curious what you guys, if you guys have thoughts on A, the story, and then B, is it right that the government is even trying to mandate what a store can do when it comes to self checkouts and cashiers and stuff like that?
So in your scenario, if without the law, would they still have regular cashiers or this store just wants self-checkout, no regular cashiers?
So with this particular store that they highlighted in the article, they revamped their stores and basically got rid of the traditional checkout lanes. So they got rid of cashiers and then just put in a bunch of self checkouts. And they don't have humans monitoring the self checkouts. Somebody only comes if a customer needs help with something. Then
Yeah.
somebody will come help them with it. Other than that, it's like self serve, do it yourself.
I mean, I don't like the idea of the government trying to impose rules on how many cashiers you have to have because I think, like you said, they're not doing anything to do with clothing stores. Like there are other places that have workers that the government can't say you need to have X amount of people in there. And so I don't necessarily like that if a grocery store wants to, if that's how they want to operate, that's how they can operate. However, I will say if you're saving money by not having to pay a bunch of cashiers, then where's that extra money going? I think that should then benefit the customers. I think they should be dropping their prices on things because you're not paying a whole bunch of people, and instead you're just lining your pockets because you don't have cashiers. So I think you're making us do more work because now we gotta. I actually prefer still using cashiers. I'm a little bit old school, unless it's like small. But if I have vegetables, things with codes, I like to just get the actual people just to do it. And so for me, you're now making me I have to go and then I gotta type and then the lights beeping and they're helping someone else and I have to be standing there waiting. Like you're making me do more work drop the prices because you're not paying these other cashiers. That's where I think if the government, I think the government should give an option. They shouldn't say you have to have 8 people. It should be like either you have your cashiers and you pay them, or you offer discounts, whatever, you lower prices on that. I think it should be one or the other. That's what I think.
To your point, just real quick, to your point about the discounts, another politician did have that idea in terms of, okay, if you're gonna have self checkouts, then customers should be getting like a discount on their bill or something by using self checkout because you're not paying cashiers, and these people, customers, are going in and now having to work by checking out their own groceries. They should be getting some sort of discount. But anyway, I just want to put that in there. So
Yeah, I think that it's a bad idea. I don't like it. I understand why they want to do it. Like for example, where around my neighborhood here, we have a no frills and we have a food land. In the food land, which I frequent like almost on a daily basis, there are three self checkout kiosks, and there are, I'm going to say, 4 to 5 cashier checkouts. So that ratio that you mentioned, we have it here. There's one person that stays around the kiosk, and if you need help, she'll come help you, or he'll come help you. The no frills is even more. I think the no frills may have like 5 or 6 kiosks, but then they have like 8 cashiers. So again, we're within that ratio. So, and I get it. I always use the self checkout. Even when I have vegetables, I use checkout. Unless, like, again, we're doing bulk buying, then I may go to the cashier. But I usually, because I just like to go in and out quick and go. So, but I think it's a bad idea because I don't think that the government should be telling the company how to run their business unless it's safety issue. It's a societal issue, something that they gotta have, like, you know what I mean? It's like that kind of stuff. But to say that you gotta have a certain amount of kiosks, I feel like whatever is best for that business to make money, because that's what business is all about, they should be allowed to do within reason. If that means limiting the amount of people, bodies in their establishment in for machines, computers, but those computers are going to make the customer's life quicker and easier and also make it more efficient for them while the business earns a profit, then I think they should be allowed to do that.